Today we will see who will win in a fight between the polar bear and the Nile crocodile. First, we talk about the polar bear. The feeding habits. The polar bear usually feeds on animals in the water such as seals. And the polar bear regularly breaks the ice and catches seals which are swimming in the water. The polar bear then drags the seal onto the land before feeding onto it. This shows that the polar bear has very strong jaws and is able to pull a very heavy seal. The polar bear uses its 3.5-inch canines to pull out the flesh. The polar bear uses its 43 strong teeth to pull out the meat from the victim's body. Polar bears feed on seals, whales, and many carcasses including walruses. Now we will talk about the strength of the body of the polar bear. Polar bears have a thick layer of fat on the top of 3 layers of strong skin. These layers of skin prevent injuries to the bear. There are very strong bones beneath that skin. These bones stand different from that of other bears such as the grizzly bear. This body of the polar bear makes it a very strong opponent in a fight. Polar bears are good swimmers and can swim up to 8 miles per hour. They have strong endurance and can swim for days in the summer. Polar bears on land can run up to 25 miles per hour. Polar bears have been known to walk for days on the sea ice and on land in search of food and starvation. This proves that they are very strong and good and built for long battle. Now we will talk about the polar bear's aggression and fighting. Polar bears are good wrestlers and are known to knock the opponent down. Due to the conditions in which they live, they need to hunt whatever they can find. This means that they can also attack humans. In some places such as Svalbard in Norway, people have to carry rifles to protect themselves. In fighting, the polar bear regularly wrestles and pushes the other polar bear using its arms and legs. Then it attacks. Basically, a polar bear does not tear out flesh directly. It tries to kill before it tears the flesh out. As for the seals, it drags them out of water. The polar bear is a very good fighter. And now with that, we will talk about the apex predator of Africa, the Nile crocodile. First, we will talk about its feeding habits. The Nile crocodile feeds on animals which are at the river bank. These include gazelles, snakes, and sometimes fish. The Nile crocodile also eats some very interesting animals. On one instance, it was seen pulling the legs of the giraffe and devouring it. On its body, the Nile crocodile has a kind of armor-like skin with few plates. Its skin is very thick, preventing the predators from damaging it severely. The Nile crocodile is a very good swimmer and can swim up to 18 miles per hour. Now we will talk about the Nile crocodile's hunting, aggression, and fighting. The Nile crocodile always stays still in the water, waits for animals to come, and then kills with its 5,000 psi bite force. It's known to have very sharp teeth, and that bite force is the strongest of all land animals. Nile crocodiles are such great hunters, and even lions don't bother them. They perform a death roll to tire their opponents out if they are thin, and then they eat it. The Nile crocodile is extremely dangerous, especially for animals drinking water. Overall, the crocodile is a dangerous ambush predator. Now we will see who will win in the fight. There needs to be a proper place in which the fight would happen. In the Arctic, a Nile crocodile would freeze and it would die. A polar bear would not survive the hot regions of Africa. Now I'll make them fight in an area with moderate climate, a lake, cool breeze, sunlight, and very cool climate. This would favor the polar bear and the Nile crocodile equally, making it a fair fight. In a fight, the Nile crocodile would try to perform the death roll multiple times, but to no avail because polar bear weighs at least 700 kilograms. Imagine it's a male. The polar bear would just have to lure it out of the water. Out of the water, the Nile crocodile becomes less weak. The crocodile, if in the water, can easily swim and catch the bear, and it has to use its bite force to tear the bear and win. If the clever polar bear is able to lure the Nile crocodile out of the water and onto land, the polar bear gets an advantage. If it's not so foolish and does not go straight at the crocodile at its mouth, it would be able to survive. Then it can jump on its back and easily defeat the crocodile. If the two fought 10 times, the polar bear would win more times, as it would be able to strategize with knowing what the Nile crocodile was going to attempt. It would be a close fight, but I imagine the Nile crocodile would win in the water, but the polar bear would easily be able to predict and lure it out, and then it would have the greater advantage in killing. So now the decision, who would win in a fight? Everyone's been waiting for this. According to me, it would be the polar bear, and in this case, I declare it, the polar bear would easily win against a Nile crocodile in a fight in moderate climate. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to the channel.